here. Been a while. It's a build a drone kind of night. Red Kyte. So basically, it is a drone with a naked GoPro integrated into the frame, which is really sick, which makes it lightweight, a little bit more aerodynamic is kind of what they were going for with under 250 grams. Finally pulled the trigger on the frame, got the parts, so it's gonna begin. Pretty stoked. The only thing I have to do is I have to open up this GoPro. If you were familiar with this build, you'll understand that this needs to get opened up, installed with the nameless RC Beck, and then it's integrated into the frame. I haven't even opened it yet, so I don't even know where to start with this. The 03, so I'm either going to take it out of the Axis 30 or the Hurricane 30. I barely fly this. If I take the 03 out of here, it's left with a stack. I can't put a stack in the Red Kyte, so I have to pick a drone with a flight controller because I also don't have a new flight controller. It's the only thing I bought new for the Red Kyte build are these XZWEI 1404 motors, and I believe they're 4700 kV. They've actually produced some sick motors. Recommended by Red Kyte for the version frame with prop guards, like this one. This is what I'm gonna build. Personally, my first under 250 gram GoPro 11 Cinewhoop. It has all this aerodynamic problem, and I get a lot of wind resistance up here, and I can see it in the camera, and it's not ideal. And with this, you're eliminating this plate of wind resistance, so much more efficient, aerodynamic. Also, to save weight with the 03 that weighs, I don't know, something like 38 grams or something, you can eliminate almost half that weight using this Flywoo kit. I would like to use the Speedy Bee stack. I really love to use these lately with the integrated Bluetooth. It just really helps with setup if you're on the field. I know there are other ways to do it, but that's just more convenient, especially with a build like this and all-in-one. Like, why not have a Bluetooth as well without any extra weight with a Speedy Bee Bluetooth chip or something? I think I'm gonna dissect this because I can use the 03 and the AIO. All right, got this pad that I like to do my parts in, but it's obviously a mess right now, so that's better. Let's get at it. Now, get out, have still more. 03 cam mount. Protectors, AIO, 20, not even showing you. Drone GoPro extension is very important to this build. Oh, check that carbon out. All right, we got the top plate. I like how they resin coat that. I just saw that on their Instagram. I thought that was pretty cool. Don't mind my thumb either. It might look kind of gross. I actually cut it off last summer with a table saw. Yeah, my mistake. Don't do that. Bunch of TPU parts. That looks like work to me as I traded sides with you. TPU camera mounting. So I'm gonna sit. O3 out. Anyway, all right, got the iron heating up. I'm gonna get this out. Clean my tip. Clean my tip. Speedy Bee. Alright, so first thing I'm gonna do is take this air unit apart and make it naked. I don't have to do this. This is just weight saving. I'm going the extra mile for this because I can, and the whole goal is to keep this lightweight. I haven't done this many times, but alright, just bending these flaps up so I can get this heat shield off. Start by getting most of this bulk paste off. Guys, I just figured out a hack. With zero effort, full blast right at them, electrical cleaner. Just use the force of the spray to literally just combat all of it out. It took me all of 2 minutes to clean both of these, not even. And the last thing I had to do to the air unit was just remove it from the camera housing. Instructions, yeah. Just tighten up these 4 screws on the top of the one with the USB. Antennas included, total of 21 grams. 11 grams, all right, go crazy. The stock antenna, 14 grams. I am just going to verify that the 03 is still recognized. That's a good sign. So here you can see the frame I've put together, just so I can get an idea of where all the hardware goes. Looking pretty good. Top plate almost complete. Obviously the GoPro's not on there. It's a whole nother process. There's the frame. Pretty cool how they do the camera mount system. The TPU is actually integrated into the fiber there, if you can see that. So it's 2 separate standoffs right there that push into the TPU. So as you see, I got the motors on, AIO, and the VTX. So as of now, the motors are just screwed on and zip tied with wire length, sort of in the realm. I have the AIO just on some soft bushings that come with the AIO, and with the VTX, the flywheel screws were just long enough to keep the metal harness on. So what I had to do was dig through the pile of red Kyte screws, and they supply these tiny black screws right here, which are longer, so they can go through the frame and go through the whole flywheel housing, which was pretty sweet to see that they included that. Coming together, I just wanted to get some of these screws out of the way. There's some press nuts that had to be set. Strange build, I've never done anything like this. So I think what I'm gonna do now is to get some of these wires out of the way. I am going to first make sure I can get the VTX plug in before I solder anything, and then I'll go ahead and solder up motors. All right guys, I got motors, ELRS receiver soldered, all the VTX is connected, got the capacitor XT30 ready to power it up. Got my radio on. Whoa. Here we go. Got my smoke stopper, double checked all my solder joints, and send it. Nothing? Ooh, yeah, hold that thought. I just made a huge mistake and connected reverse the positive and negative power leads. So luckily I had the smoke stopper. That's why I always use a smoke stopper when you first get a build together. And here we go. Now we should get power, right? And we're good. Powered up as normal. Now the air unit's going to get really hot, so I just want to see that I connect the telemetry, which for some reason I'm not at the moment. Let's see if I can switch to the 03 air unit and the goggles and get some vision. That would be great. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to remove the smoke stopper now, without the smoke stopper now. Now everything should power as normal, because I think the smoke stopper for some reason doesn't let ELRS work. Whatever. Waiting for vision. Fingers crossed. Oh, there it is. I got all my OSD. Only thing I'm seeing is... There we go. All right. We are good to go. I'm gonna try and arm it. And I have power. Sweet. All right. What's up, guys? It is the next day, and this has been the biggest headache in the world trying to get it connected to Betaflight. So when I originally took the AIO out of the Access Flying, I knew that the solder pad for the USB-C, this is actually missing a pad because this has no USB-C or micro USB. So I was banking on using the Bluetooth, which has worked fine in the past. I couldn't solder on a separate USB-C cable that they supply because somehow the pads got damaged on the chip. So I was like, all right, that's fine. I'll still have Bluetooth. So I put it all together last night without the GoPro. I haven't done that yet. I just wanted to get this thing flying and make sure everything was all right. And I would just not connect to Betaflight. There's just something wrong. So I actually have an old SpeedyBee AIO that I fried, and I was trying to take the Bluetooth parts off of this one and swap them onto this one. It didn't want to connect to Bluetooth. There was no way I can connect to the Betaflight now. So I'm just gonna put this back in the C30 because it's already tuned for that, and that's really the only option I have. So I ended up taking my third SpeedyBee AIO out of my Snapshot, the DroneCo Snapshot. Unfortunately, I didn't want to, but it was the only AIO I had left, and I wanted it to have Bluetooth. So I put that in here, no issues. Connects to Bluetooth, and I still have the pads. I'll probably put the micro or the USB-C on. But so I finally have this connected to Betaflight. I've orientated the motors the right direction. I'm doing inward direction for this. I think that's what I saw on their website. Take this through the first little cruise in the house. It is pouring outside, and it's going to be pouring for the next week. But I just want to make sure this is okay. It's not going to be tuned perfect until I have more space to try that, but it was on a whoop before, so it shouldn't be a problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this fired up for the second time, but fly it for the first. Hey! Motors are cool. I think I'm just gonna dissect this GoPro first before I open up this one. If I want to rebuild this, I obviously have the GoPro, but I don't feel like tearing the GoPro apart right now. How I've been able to figure out, get a general idea of how to put the frame together. You go to the page of the Whoop that you got, scroll down, and right here there's a link to a bunch of Google Drive folders, and the bottom one is a preliminary build visual. And when that pops up, as you might be able to see, you kind of get an idea. So right here, I'm gonna follow how they put the board on and the GoPro camera itself. So I'll get you down here and we'll check it out. Okay, and now I'm gonna imagine that this goes right in here very carefully. And whenever you're building something and it doesn't feel right, don't ever force it. That's how you break shit. Just work it, figure it out, figure out where it really needs to go, and boom. And I could put this back on. Just like so. I actually got really good score on Adorama, the Freewell ND filter. These retail for 120, brand new, for I think a set of 4 like this. I got it for 40 bucks. It was considered used, and it said excellent condition. The only thing I noticed that looks used is they wrote on the case. Other than that, these look brand new. So a solid score on Adorama. What I wanted to do was just see how these fit. Do they fit over this? Oh yes, so they fit over that entire housing. All right, now I can go ahead and screw this little rubber thing back on. They actually supply a little TPU to put over this exposed GoPro, which is kind of cool. So it goes on just like this. Look at that. Protect that upper portion of the camera housing. Oh, make sure you put this battery strap on before you get any crazier, because it won't be easy to get on after the fact. This GoPro extension, that ribbon connector, connects right here in this one, and when you go to clamp it, this tab right here has this resistor on it that doesn't allow this to seat properly. So you can see it's actually perforated on that tab. So I looked at the site, and lo and behold, you only need to break off this tab if you're using a 9 or 10. And I'd imagine this video came out before the 11, so I'm gonna go ahead and snap it off. Flat needle nose pliers, grab it right at the perforation, and break this board. voila. All right. Oh yeah, way better. So if you're using a 9, 10, or 11, you need to break off the little secondary tab that's perforated on the red Kyte 90-degree extension. Nice. Board's gonna have to be this way. I'm gonna get that cable connected. Fold that right up. Get around that. Now I can just fold this down. Oh, okay. So this little TPU, that actually keeps pressure on the connection, which is nice to see. So it can't really pop off at all. I know I'm still missing a TPU in here. I really couldn't figure out where the heck it went, but from what I can see, that sits like that. And because the record button's back here, that must mean the aimless RC back has to go there, which will then be in line. Get my ribbon cable out right here. Let that go. Open up this connection on the back by pulling out these gray little tabs, and I'd imagine this has to go in upside down. I'm trying to make sure it gets in all the way and makes full contact. Alright, come in as much as it wants to go, so I'm going to go ahead and square it up and then crimp it. Try and fold this over perfectly. Get a soft stick to see where I line up, where the GoPro will mount to the top plate. That's where I'm trying to get my line up. And I can already see, so what I saw him do in the video was, see the little red button here? He shaved the back of it off. So I guess I'm gonna do the same. Take my little X-Acto knife, and he shaved some of that off so it wasn't so high. Very carefully cut towards yourself, not. There's a little bit. I'll go a little more. Yep. Okay, I'm happy with that. Where the heck does this go? Goes right in there. That makes sense. So what I need to do before I screw this together is add the power lead on the back. Go ahead and turn my iron on. Go ahead and get the rest of these screws in. Alright, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Let's test that button. Oh, listen. Got functionality. I got a dang record button. That's so sick. Alright. That's pretty painless. Not really. A little tricky. So it looks like the last thing I gotta do is just solder the power lead for the GoPro onto the AIO. And I'm gonna shorten these up. Looking like we got everything on. Just zip tied a bunch of wires there. See the power lead for the GoPro. Just want to show, so I'm going to look to see if they have any TPU mounts for an ELRS module, but that's what I came up with for now. Yep. And as well as the O3 antenna. That's what I've seen online, just the zip tie straight up the standoff. I don't love it, but it works. So let's get this top plate on. We'll connect the GoPro. Looks all right there. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tools down. power test, make sure the GoPro works. I unplugged the VTX for now, so I don't overheat while I make sure I connect to the GoPro. Check it out. So sick. So sick. And I'm recording for the first time on the Red Kyte. And that is going to wrap up the drone build, guys. This is a sick little build, super lightweight. I'm actually going to share the weight with you in a second, but I've had this drone for about a week now. Got to fly it at a skate park, was really the maiden flight of this thing, and the tune on it that came from the AIO on the snap ring was damn near perfect. Haven't had to touch any of the settings. I'm going to adjust the rates so I can get a little bit more acrobat in, because the Cinewhoop rates on here were a little slower, but it flies amazing. I can't wait to fly it more, but the overall weight with the 650 battery is coming in at 240 grams. A 650 4S high voltage battery, 171 grams with no battery. Wow, that weighs 69 grams. I also designed this 3D printed antenna mount, which also holds the ELRS module. The only downside is it does block the SD card, but I'm okay with that. The only time I'm ever really dealing with the SD card is when I'm here at the bench. I have a tool to take 4 screws out. It takes less than a minute. Last bit of value I'll leave you guys with. I'll connect this to Betaflight, get the tune, and you can see how it flew, because I'll also end this with the little montage at the skate park. And can't wait to fly this more. I definitely recommend this. It's a little time consuming and tedious, but totally worth it. Such a sick little drone. Leave you with that, and go fly.